Hi.
Hi.
So you've played so many of my favorite roles from growing up, and I was wondering, of all the roles that you've ever played, which was your favorite and why?
Gee. I tell you, one of my favorites was Uncle Fester. There's a magazine called The New Yorker, and Charles Addams, who originated the Addams family. There was every week a cartoon by Charles Addams in the magazine, which was always around the house. And Uncle Fester was, you know, from adolescence, was my favorite. I mean, he was so mischievous and slightly demonic and evil and all those things. And I just, you know, he just totally intrigued me. And then one day, some 30, 40 years later, I got a call to play Uncle Fester, and I was rather stunned because I don't look anything like him. Uncle Fester is a roly-poly guy with a round head and all that. And I just didn't see how that was going to work, but eventually with makeup and costume and walking around with knees bent under that cloak and everything, it worked out. But I just love the opportunity, having grown up with him, to be able to actually do it on the screen. It was a real kick in the ass.
This question is about Roger Rabbit. You know, technology changes so much over the years, and so if a movie like Roger Rabbit was made today, they may use some other technology like performance capture. Because of the year that it was made, looking back now, was there anything interesting about the process, specifically you guys interacting with cartoon characters, that may even be funny now when you look at how they would probably do that today? Is there anything notable or funny about that, the interaction, the process you used to interact between the cartoon characters in that movie?
Yeah, they made dummies of all the cartoons of Roger Rabbit. And Roger Rabbit, they made this dummy Roger Rabbit, which stood about that high, and it had real weight. I mean, you had to, you know, use muscle to play with it. And there was some people on the set, mime or mimist, or what do you call them, pantomists or whatever, that would teach us to practice and use, you know, like it was, you know, because in the shot there's nothing there. But we learned what muscles we used playing with a dummy. And and we just would practice that a lot and then shoot it without the dummy and go on from there. An interesting thing, like you say, today all that is technically done. Most of the film was shot in London, and there was this big kind of warehouse. And on each floor, it was like some kind of a cult society. On each floor were all, you know, cartoon artists from all over the world, and each had their own kind of cubicle, and each worked to paint it, you know, on one particular aspect of one frame, the old-fashioned way, the way the original Disney movies were done. And it was a fascinating place because these artists lived in that building, literally. I mean, I don't think they ever left. And it was strewn about all, you know, cartons of Chinese food, and junk, and beer, and smoke, and it was kind of a hellhole. You know, and all these strange people from Japan, from India, United States, everywhere had been gathered to create the cartoons. You know, the visuals, and it was an extraordinary thing to see, which I may never see again.
Very cool, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, he actually took my question, so I had to think of another one fast.
I could answer it again.
Oh, I got another one. I was wondering, what was it like working with the Telltale games on the Back to the Future game, and is there a season 2 in the works?
What was it like working with?
Telltale Games, the company that produced and made the Back to the Future game.
Dr. Seuss? Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Telltale Games, the Back to the Future game. The one that just came out, that you pitched.
Oh, sorry. That was all vocal work. It was a lot of fun. And I'm also impressed that so many people have come up to me today and yesterday and said how much they've enjoyed the game, which is good, because hopefully, if it's working out, they'll do a sequel. I think they have a sequel in mind. I think the game ends with that possibility, so perhaps we'll see it again. Did I answer that?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, phew.
You've played many outrageous characters. How do you find those characters and the ability to play them?
I don't know. I just go over a script over and over and over and over until I feel I identify with the character in some way, whether it's a serious character or a comic, and then I do everything I can to make it real. I remember Reverend Jim. I had. We took a hiatus. After every season you have 3 or 4 months off before you come back. And I came back once and I could not get into Reverend Jim again. I just couldn't get a hold of it, and which was kind of worrisome. And I realized that I was thinking of my oldest brother, who was 22 years older than I, who didn't smoke, didn't drink, didn't do any mind-altering things whatsoever. He was a very conservative, kind of square guy, but he always had a look on his face, kind of, like that. And I suddenly remember that look, and I found the part back again. So you never know what your sources are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
I wish I could get out from behind this table, but the wire, anyway, it's okay. It's a minor thing. I'll get over it.
My question is, in My Favorite Martian, how is it like interacting with the suit?
It was strange. I was very aware of how I looked, because you couldn't hide any, pot or anything, or muscle. Oh.
Now you got your freedom.
Yeah. Now I don't know what to do with my Yeah, see, like right now I'm very aware I don't have a crutch to hold on to. But the Martian suit fits so tightly that, which was good, because it gave me kind of a way of moving in it. I remember that my feet were bare, and the producer said out loud to the crew around, to somebody, that my nails had to be clipped. And that was kind of embarrassing. But, yeah, it was okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Well, you as an actor, how is it like? How how are you able to like switch between like two completely different parts? Like for example, Doc Brown and your part in Roger Rabbit.
Get a lot of help from costume and makeup.
Like, did you really have to get into the roles, or like one's like completely eccentric and one's like all serious and stuff?
I don't know. Judge Doom is so evil and so unapologetic about it. I mean, he's just like wasn't born with a gene of being nice or sympathetic. He was just all out evil. And
How do they do those like animation effects on you in the near end of the film?
a lot of that was done in a lab, like the changing of my eyes. When I was totally flat like a cardboard, that wasn't me.